This question has to do with a big psychological fallacy that a lot of students find themselves committing, which is the idea that if you don't know what a word means, it's automatically incorrect. So I'm actually going to go through this problem not understanding anything about what this one means and only having a very foggy idea of what C means. So let's see what's going on here. The thing about this that's kind of useful to do is to categorize what part of speech you're dealing with. So if you look at the answer choices, you'll notice that they're all adjectives. So if you are dealing with adjectives in your answer choices, then the important word to identify in that clause is going to be your subject. In other words, the thing that you're trying to describe. So if you're saying that something is something, in terms of the fact that something is adjective, what is that noun? And if you answer claim, that would be correct. So that is actually a very important clue here, because a lot of these things can't really modify claims, right? So if you're thinking about saying that a claim is something over here, would a claim be disorienting? Not really. Disorienting is a lot more in the physical sphere as opposed to the abstract sphere, so we're going to go ahead and cross out A. The other thing we're going to test is D, because D is probably a more well-known vocabulary word than either of these guys. And just like if you're rock climbing, you want to put your hand on the most steady ledge. You don't want to base your answer choice on anything that's a little bit foggy, right? So if we're thinking about unoriginal, are we saying that this claim is unoriginal? So over here, this little signpost is basically saying that whatever this is saying is essentially what's supposed to go here with the word or the phrase as it. So all you have to evaluate really is, does this part mean unoriginal? So if something is failing to account for something, does that mean that it's unoriginal? Not exactly. So therefore we have our round ones crossed out down to round two. So let's pretend like we have no idea what B means. So what I like to do is put the letters HC over it, which stands for kind of like handicap parking. You don't park in the handicap unless you actually have a handicap placard. So over here, let's just go based off of whether or not we understand what nuanced is. So for a lot of people, this starts to spark the idea of a little detail. And if you're there somewhere around that ballpark, you're in the right neighborhood of what that means. So does this mean a little detail in any shape or form? Or over here, if we're saying that in order to be convincing, his argument needs to address recent finds, none of this really discusses any kind of detail, so we're going to go ahead and pick B, even though we have no idea what it means, and that would be the correct answer.